American fishermen plunge into the stunning, majestic deep sea, tracking yellowfin trevally, fast as lightning, strong as steel. Fishing lines tighten like guitar strings, and savage jolts signal massive hauls. The boat tilts with the swells, hands clamp down, and flashes of gold burst from the surface. Every fish means money, sweat, and survival. This is not a trip for the faint-hearted.
A vast rocky slope opens in clear blue, gravel and boulders fading into deep water with quiet drifting particles. 4 to 5 giant yellowfin pompano cruise together in the distance, calm and untouched, silver bodies flashing softly. The pompano school turns in sync above gravel, yellow fins and forked tails catching faint deep light. A single giant pompano glides close, silver scales shimmering, then eases back into the small school.
A porcupine fish hovers near rubble, and pompanos circle tightly as both track the same small prey.
A pompano darts for food, and the porcupine fish inflates slightly, spines lifting to block the approach. Pompano feint and turn as the porcupine fish puffs rounder, holding ground over gravel in cold, clear water. One pompano flashes past in a short chase, and the porcupine fish deflates and retreats into reef rubble. The pompano school regroups and resumes calm cruising, silver bodies steady above pebbles and sand ripples. A porcupine fish inflates into a spiky ball, and pompano keep a safe ring, watching from clear water. Pompano glide past a boulder ridge, light fading fast as particles drift through blue darkness. A deeply forked yellow tail beats slowly as a giant pompano holds steady above gravel in mild current. Pompano rush toward prey, then veer away as porcupine fish snaps with a beak mouth near rubble. The small school drifts along the slope edge, untouched and calm, silver flanks reflecting faint light. 4 to 5 pompano form a loose line above gravel, fins flicking sink as the seabed stays quiet. A giant pompano glides past, oval body and yellow fins clear, then fades back into blue distance.
Bait strips get rigged on circle hooks, and branch lines stacked neatly for a clean industrial set.
Hauler rollers and guards get checked, and tension controls get set for steady hauling and building swell.
The tall steel hull moves through calm swell, scuppers draining as light spray curls off the rub rail. The pompano school cruises faster along the slope, silver flashes rippling as depth darkens behind gravel.
A giant pompano jumps cleanly above the surface, then splashes back down, leaving foam rings in cold water.
The jumping pompano descends back to the school, returning to calm cruising over gravel and reef rubble. 2 pompano approach a baited hook cautiously, circling once as the bait stays stable above gravel. A porcupine fish rushes the bait, and pompano dart back, keeping distance from spines while staying locked on food. One pompano noses the bait and tests it, keeping the hook in view as the branch line steadies. The hook seats at the mouth corner, and the leader snaps taut as the pompano surges, kicking gravel dust. The hooked pompano fights low along the bottom, leader tight, swivel visible as it tries to turn into rubble.
The hauler turns at controlled speed, keeping constant tension as braided line tracks cleanly into tubs. A silver flash rolls under foam beside the hull, hook visible at the mouth corner with the leader fully taut.
A landing sling supports the pompano at the tuna door, keeping hook and leader visible during hard thrashing.
The pompano flops hard on the mat, and controls stay disciplined while the body stays straight and intact.
The fish slides into a bubbling holding tank, and strong aeration keeps water churning while the deck rolls.
Fresh bait gets rigged fast, and branch lines clip back on to keep the industrial cycle moving.
A second hookup seats cleanly, and the pompano shakes hard, darting away while the leader stays tight. A red ring jelly pulses above rubble, offering a calm interlude between hookups and hauling. A leatherback silhouette glides far above the slope, adding scale while the bottom remains calm. A distant sperm whale silhouette passes high above, leaving the rocky slope quiet and dark below.
Holding tank bubbles roar, and crew readies the sling for the next landing, under steady spray.
The fish rolls beside the hull, hook visible, and foam streaks past as the leader stays fully taut.
The fish comes over the tuna door, and a tool removes the hook cleanly while the body stays intact.
Another fish enters the aerated tank, and multiple pompanos circle inside as bubbles churn hard.
Huller rollers spin and line tracks clean, showing pure mechanical realism as spray hits the lens naturally. Swell builds and the steel hull rises and drops, scuppers pouring water as spray turns heavier.
A hooked pompano sprints along gravel, swivel and chafe sleeve visible as the leader stays tight under load. Men haul with full force, sweat pouring as heavy waves slam the rail and spray blasts across the deck. A hooked pompano breaks the surface once, silver body arcing with the hook visible and leader taut beside hull. The fish gets pulled upward through particles, leader tight with no slack as the hook holds the mouth corner.
A sling lifts the fish at the tuna door, tail beating hard as cold spray lashes rails and gloves. The fish flops violently on the mat, and safe spacing holds while control stays strict in hard spray. Multiple pompanos swirl inside the aerated tank, bubbles roaring as water sloshes under heavy roll.
A jelly pulses near a boulder ridge, giving a calm contrast as storms build above the dark slope. A double hookup hits, and two separate fish pull hard with hooks visible and both leaders fully taut.
Two hooked fish boil at the waterline, hooks visible and leaders tight as foam and spray whip past steel plating.
Crew strains at the hauler in gusts, sweat mixing with spray while boots stay planted on wet steel.
The fish shakes hard and dives toward rubble, hook visible as the leader stays tight and steady.
Men strain at the hauler as the fish rises slowly in a sling, hook visible and the leader held tight. A sling holds the fish steady, and hook removal stays clean as the deck pitches under heavy gusts.
The fish enters the aerated tank, bubbles hammering the surface while several pompanos circle beneath.
A leatherback glides through blue above the slope, a calm intercut against the storm pounding the surface. Another hookup seats cleanly, and the fish darts upward as the leader snaps tight without slack.
Silver flashes under foam beside the hull, hook visible as the leader stays tight through turbulent water.
Branch lines drop again in heavier swell, and cadence stays steady while safe spacing holds at the stern.
The fish pulls sideways under tension, swivel aligned as gravel dust blooms, and the leader stays tight.
Two separate fish transfer in sequence, each body straight, splashing into roaring bubbles with strict control.
Large swell lifts the hull and whitecaps streak past, scuppers pouring water as the sea turns violent.
A giant fish surges upward, hook visible as particles stream past yellow fins under hard tension.
The fish slams the mat with tail beating hard, and control stays clean without gaffes or gore.
The tank runs nearly full, and many fish circle tightly under bubbles as water sloshes under heavy roll.
A distant whale silhouette passes high above, calm intercut, as the storm fight continues over the hauling line. Another double hookup holds, with two separate fish and two visible hooks as both leaders stay taut.
Two hooked fish churn foam beside the hull, hooks visible as leaders stay tight in heavy spray.
Men lean into the hauler with sweat streaming, spray blasting faces, while the line keeps moving under control.
The fish tries to wedge behind a boulder, then slips free as the leader stays tight and the hook holds.
Hook removal stays fast and clean, and the fish slides into the aerated tank as bubbles splash hard.
The storm begins easing, swells still high but steadier as the hull tracks forward and scuppers drain.
A wide deck shows many fish in bubbling tanks, linking brutal hauling to controlled live holding and safety.
A jelly pulses in darker water, calm beat as hauling slows and the seabed returns to quiet.
Hooks get stowed and then hoses rinse steel deck, ending the run with disciplined cleanup and no effects.
A remaining school cruises away untouched, silver flashes fading into blue as the slope grows darker.
Fish circle calmly under bubbles, showing intact bodies and realistic motion as the deck steadies.
Calmer swell returns, hull plating glistening as spray lightens and the ship holds steady course.
Crew straps tubs and checks tank pumps, preparing for processing while the sea finally settles down.
Many fish fill the tank under roaring bubbles, and crew counts with hand signals while spray fades.
A turtle glides along the slope edge, calm intercut as offshore work transitions to chilling and transport.
Crushed ice and insulated totes get staged, setting up fast chilling for the next phase of handling. The last landing lifts a fish by sling, hook visible, then unhooks cleanly as the deck steadies.
The final fish slides into the tank, bubbles churning as water splashes high, in a steady roll.
The run ends with a tidy deck and secured gear, calm horizon beyond rail, ready for strict processing. Crew celebrates beside a biled catch of yellowfin pompano on ice, bodies straight and intact in cold spray. A wide deck shows stacked pompano on ice, and crew raises fists briefly before returning to work.
Seawater hoses rinse fish clean, and runoff streams into drains as the deck stays controlled. Careful knife work gills and guts fish laid straight, keeping handling clean and non-graphic. Cleaned pompano layer into ice slurry totes, crushed ice filling gaps as clamped lids lock in cold chain.
Sealed totes stack on pallets, straps tightening for stable loads ready for fast shore transfer.
The 150-meter vessel returns at sunset, wake steady as warm sky reflections ripple across calmer harbor water.
Forklifts move ice totes through the megamarket, keeping cold chain handling fast and controlled with calm pacing and realistic motion only.
A buyer inspects iced fish closely, choosing premium lots while the market stays loud and wet.
Plain insulated boxes get sealed fast, keeping product protected with no labels or readable markings.
A refrigerated truck pulls away at dusk, carrying iced product toward a luxury kitchen under strict cold chain.
Restaurant staff unloads plain boxes into stainless prep, keeping ice visible and handling fast and controlled.
A whole cleaned pompano rests on crushed ice, silver body, and yellow fins clear under warm kitchen light.
Clean fillet cuts remove bones fast, keeping flesh intact and the workstation spotless under warm light.
Fillets sear in a hot pan, steam rising as plating stays precise and realistic, with no exaggerated effects. A seared pompano portion gets plated precisely, sauce brushed cleanly as the final dish looks premium and real.
A waiter carries plates through marble dining, showing the catch turning into luxury service under calm, warm light.
Diners lift forks and nod, showing the end result of brutal offshore work becoming refined dining.
The kitchen wipes down clean, empty boxes stacked as melted ice drains, closing the sail to service story.
A calm night sea closes the episode, with a distant vessel silhouette fading beyond dark water and quiet air.